What's happening, everyone? And welcome to the Systems Lab Live. We are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. The Instagram fam is there. And I'm excited because we have a great new session that we're kicking off. The first one was on communication under the everyday work umbrella that we're working under. And this time around, we are talking about how do we prioritize our time? Specifically, how do we align our projects with our goals? Okay. And we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes because it's not the tips that I have for you tonight. It's not what you think. It's not going to be your traditional, set a goal and then that's it. And have have a what do you call it? It's the SMART goal method. I do talk about that some, but some of the foundational things I want to discuss with you do not necessarily have to do with outright goal setting first. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that in a couple of moments, but as we normally do on the Systems Lab Live, definitely want you to put out there, man, where are you from? What are you doing in terms of what you're working on? We definitely want to get you all out in the comments. I definitely want to shout you guys out, drop your name, your location, and what are you working on right now? For those of you that are new to the Systems Lab Live or watching the replay, I thank you for watching because this is a unique, one-of-a-kind live stream where we come together to talk about people, processes, and outcomes, especially for my small business owners, those that are my creatives, those that are in the tech space. This is the perfect opportunity for all of us to kind of come together, right? And really go over these everyday processes that we are working on in our business, everything from project management to managing teams to everything in between to process improvement. So I'm telling you, this is a one-of-a-kind live stream and one of the best that is out there. One of the best because you learn so much. You learn so much. So as you guys are dropping your name and your location, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did over the weekend. Speaking of process improvement, one of the things that I did was I did some tweaking to my guests that come on my podcast and my live stream. So this live stream, I'm going to have some guests in July and August, which is going to be a lot of fun. But I wanted to just have a little bit more of a cleaner way for people to actually book time with me and to get to know the work that I do when I go and do some outreach for people who are guests. So one of the tools that I use is called Whimsical. I am actually wearing one of their t-shirts, but you can't really see. It's like a little, they're like little icons if you can see. But I love Whimsical because it's a flow charting tool that I use that really helps me to break down processes. I love it. It helps me to build a process. It helps me to do process audits. And Whimsical, which is very similar to Lucid Chart or Miro, but I love Whimsical. I think it's easy to use, a lot of cool features and whatnot. So Whimsical is where it's at for me. Whimsical is where it's at for me, folks. So you go to whimsical.com. Of course, you can sign up for their free plan, but I'm always going to tell you it's an investment. So go ahead and level up if you can. And I want to say maybe it's $10 a month, like that second tier, which I've been using Whimsical for 3 years, three and a half years. It's good. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. But I enjoyed that this weekend. I did do some relaxing this weekend. What else? Went to church. So that was really good. And another thing that I did, which I thought that was really important too, is that I was building out roadmaps. This is like my new thing now, guys. Road maps. So I built out a mock roadmap for a community group. Communities are all the rage, folks. Okay, everybody's building a community every which way, and I built out a roadmap of a faux community, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be helpful to look at like what content that you're going to create, or even like a member like a membership product roadmap. Like, what type of enhancements are you going to be making? And I feel for all of the intensive purposes of building a community, that it's not just, putting people in their group, folks. I'm learning through the deeper than the brand community. I'm learning from others, but mainly through deeper than the brand, about what it actually means to make those strategic and operational investments into building a community. Okay. I also learned a lot also through, to shout out to Nicole, technical, from her community group that she has, that she does with the metaverse, and it is super super awesome. She's invested so much into putting together a really safe space, into Blackverse, .io. That's a group that I'm a part of. And so what's cool about what she's doing is she's really really looking at this, from the perspective of, all right, like, we need to educate people on an advancement and training of Black people on decentralized metaverse and the multiverse. But she's invested, man. Her and her team, they are super super invested into making sure that, like, that people are educated. And so when I'm talking about investment, I'm talking about, I got a Discord training on Clubhouse, okay? A full on hour and a half Discord training. We're talking about articles, information. People are in there to help you to really understand this aspect of the metaverse. And so when I'm talking about investments, I'm talking about people are really dedicated. And she even had another clubhouse. She had a clubhouse, I think, a couple of days ago, talking about what they're doing programmatically for the community. So what I thought that was cool is I created something in ClickUp, all on road mapping. Because if you think about it, you really want to come up with a plan of action when you have a community. And I think that's really important that we look at that. And so we'll probably do some road mapping examples in a couple of weeks, because I think that's going to be crucial to understanding the type of work that you want to do. You want to plan for it. So, I'll show you guys that in a couple of weeks, but it was fun, just to mock it up. And it's great for if you're working with a team. If you're working by yourself, that's cool. But if you're working with some volunteers and some folks, it can really help you to better understand what you want to do and when you want to do it. And then you can start to bring in people that can help fill in the roles and the gaps. So that's what road mapping does. And that's what's so helpful. All right. The first thing that I do want to bring attention for you guys today, because I wanted to bring in this article. I want to talk a little bit about what Slack did last week. Slack held their Frontiers there, and that's a conference that they hold all on Slack, their product, and they bring in influencers and people. I thought it was interesting. They had Janelle Monáe on there, but I thought to myself, well, maybe she uses Slack, and she does. But she had some really good key takeaways. She has so many projects she's working on. Her manager introduced her to Slack a few years ago, and she's never looked back. I mean, they literally Slack all the time about music, about movies, about projects. I mean, they use Slack. So I thought it was cool to hear her talk about how she uses Slack. But one of the things that I thought that was super cool of what they're doing, uh, in terms of enhancing their product, is they're talking about Slack Huddles and using video within Slack Huddles, which I think is cool. They already have the audio version of it. And so what's neat about what Slack is doing is they are literally making this platform like the go-to platform. One would say, hey, are you trying to compete with Zoom? And I want to say they said on CNBC that they're like, no, we're not trying to compete with Zoom. They're actually very Zoom friendly. They have integrations and all that. But one thing's for certain is that Slack definitely wants you to make sure that you can do work within the app itself. right? And they're making it easier for you to actually collaborate with your team members. Now, we've seen the polls out here when it comes to remote work. We've seen all of that, right? We've seen people are literally traveling. I saw an article today. It says people are traveling, they are going on vacation, they are going to conferences, but they are not returning back to the office. They are not doing that. And whether you are on a remote team, hybrid, in the office, full-time entrepreneur, or what have you, it's safe to say, again, that this aspect of remote work is here to stay. Okay. Like and also too, people are also working in the metaverse. Okay, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. I saw an article about the effects of working in the metaverse, which I thought was really interesting. But it's safe to say, folks, that remote work is here to stay. All right. So, but with that said, as we've been talking about for the last several weeks, it's super, super important that we have the proper communication tools to make sure that we're staying in touch with our team members. I think it's really, really important. And Slack is really one of my favorite tools, to be honest. Slack is something that I use for my community groups, for my mastermind groups. I'm in different types of Slacks for different types of apps and whatnot. I like it a lot. I never thought that I would like another type of communication aspect of it, but what's interesting, and Nicole just typed in Slack and Discord continued competition is great. I'll be interested once Web3 has its own option. That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think you're absolutely right about that. Slack and Discord has continued competition. However, and again, when you're setting up these platforms, the user experience is super important. And again, shout out to Nicole. This is a very well organized Discord that she has. I've been to some of the other ones out there, and it's not to say that it's not organized or what not have you, because I have limited experience with Discord for the past maybe 7 or 8 months, but I can easily find things within the her Discord channel, right? I can easily find it. It's organized, and I think that helps with the user experience. And then, of course, what I thought was super cool is that in Discord, you can stream in there, you can share video, you can share audio, you can do a ton of really cool things that Slack does. However, of course, Slack is on that more professional tip, so to speak, right? But I think the definition of professional is expanding nowadays. But one thing that you have to be mindful of with Slack is, some of these features are going to cost you, right? So depending on how many members that you have, you are going to have to pay, for the different premium features. But as of right now, you can do brainstorming meetings within Huddles. You can actually go and have quick meetings and things like that if you need to, like, just have a meeting with a couple people. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 people. Maybe it's, a small, like 3 folks or whatnot. You can also use it as social get togethers and just hanging out. I think Slack Huddles is onto something. And I think that this company adding a video option only makes sense for what we're doing in terms of the collaboration experience. So one thing that I would suggest to anyone who's out here listening, just in terms of platforms to look at, definitely look at the type of communication that you're looking to have. That's number one. So what are you looking to communicate about? So sometimes, it's we get caught up into, like, what tool should I use? I should use this one for that. Really think about the information, and think about also too what other tools that you may integrate with. Let's see. Also, the tech level and the comfort level of who you are working with as well. Some people may need a little tutorial, right? And, in terms of the technology, and that's okay. You want to be patient with people, especially those that may not be familiar with the technology tools that you are introducing. But I would definitely, when it comes to the project management piece of it, For sure, Slack is a great option for that. If it would be interesting to see more teams use Discord for hanging out, for more of that informal team setting that you may want to have. It would be interesting to see it in a space of, could you actually do working in there? Could you actually do actual work and have work meetings in there? I bet you could. But again, I also feel as if that you have to get on one accord with people. So let's lay out these 3 points so that it makes sense, because I said a lot in the last few minutes. So number one, I definitely want you all to consider, when you're selecting a communications tool, consider the audience, who you're working with, number one. Consider the actual tool itself and the integrations that you may need. So that could be the project management tool, that could be your video conferencing tool as well. Number three, consider the information. What is it that you want to communicate about as well? I love the fact that people have always had a thing about Slack being strictly business, strictly professional. But over the past year and a half, Slack has made some great integrations where you can have little gifts, little emojis. You can do fun things with Slack, like have polls and things. As you can see right here, you can have social get-togethers, they're saying in this article as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can be able to use technology tools for not only work, but also for play as well, and just getting to know folks. So cool. I'm glad that we were able to get through this. I enjoy talking about ways in which we can improve our communication, right? And in making sure that our teams operate in such a manner that we can get the work done, but also get it done in a fun way. Get it done in a really, really fun way. So let me stop the share. And I do want to talk, a bit about time and tasks, but we're really going to try to get into goal setting a bit, to really sort of talk about what does it really mean to understand how we should be working, right? Let's break that down a little bit. There's often a question that I get asked, which is, Ashley, there's so much to do. There's so much that I have going on. How do I focus in on the work? Like, how do I know what I should be working on? I'm sidetracked by this project, that project. I'm excited about how I can go about, you know, um, working on different things. So, what's the best way that I can actually complete the things that I desire? Complete the things that are sitting right in front of me. I started this project, I picked up another one, and all of that. And I think this is a really good question, because many times that we think that the tasks that we have on our to-do list, or that we have on our calendar, our meetings, that they are relevant to the goals that we've set forth. Right? I think I'm in that category. I've done that many a times, where I've set goals, and I said, I've set goals and I said, okay, I've accomplished them, but like, what does that exactly mean? Is that something that is in alignment with where I'm at right now? And so I had to really sit with myself. I'd sit with the Lord, and I had to really kind of get myself together in terms of like, well, what am I really supposed to be doing? And like, how should I be doing it? So I read a couple books. I read Measure What Matters by John Doerr. I read a few books. The One Thing. I've read the book on what is it? The Habit book by that man. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Habits. Hold on. We're looking at the book. The Habits book. James Clear. Atomic Habits. Boom. I almost lost it. That's so funny. So I read Atomic Habits, I read Measure What Matters, and I sat with myself, sat with the Lord, started writing, and really started to figure out, how do I better organize my time? How do I know what to work on and when to work on things? And I decided that I was going to use a system. I was going to use a modified system of objective and key results, and a little bit of mixture with the SMART goal method. But the first step of what I did was know who I was. I had to understand and honor the season that I was in. And I think it's really important that we do that. Many times, we're going straight to a tool. We're getting advice from other people. I'm not saying that you can't, you know, you can always get advice from folks. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I truly believe that we have to look within us for a lot of the answers. You know what I'm saying? We have to look within ourselves because we have a lot of the answers that we're that we're looking for. And I think it's really important that we really honor the season that we're in. So what I mean by that is, I say that a lot in some different circles, but I want to break that down. Honoring the season that you're in, meaning understanding what's working for you and what's not working for you. Maybe it's something as simple as my morning routine. I can't get up at 7 o'clock anymore, or 8 o'clock, or what have you. I need to get up early. Some people have said, you know what, I need to spend more time with God. That was one of the things that I had challenged myself with. I got to get up early. There's aspects of even exercise, and routine. Okay. And I had to get a system in place. So I had to get a health coach. Shout out to Rochelle T. Parks and the Sugar Ain't Sweet program. So that was last year. And that was in essentially, I have a system for my health now. Okay. And there are certain things where in this season that I'm in, health is super important for me. Exercising. We're talking about 6 miles a day. I'm doing, 2.5 hours, worship, workout, all this other stuff almost every single morning, about 6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? That's the season that I'm in. So therefore, there are other things that I have to move around when it comes to priorities and what I want to work on. Okay. So I think that's the first step that I would definitely ask you guys to understand is, define your motherboard. What's the motherboard? Shout out to the people who are computer science geeks and understand exactly what I'm saying. Is that you have to define your personal or business motherboard. Okay. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit more. Instagram fam, I am on YouTube, just showing a little graphic. If you care to come on over, the link is in the bio. So defining your personal or business motherboard. We know that within computers, like those old school Dells, that have those big old towers, those big old CPUs, right? Those big old CPUs. That was, if something happened to the motherboard, that was it. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And so that was super, super important. You know what I mean? So if you messed up the motherboard, your computer was gone. Okay. It was just gone. Absolutely, Nicole. But yeah, please join me on YouTube. Okay. What is in your motherboard? Mission, vision, values. If you're business minded, target audience, your messaging. You know what I'm saying? That's the motherboard. What is your mission statement? What are your values? What's your vision? Your target audience. I went through this exercise with a client. I think it's really important that before we understand what we're going to do with our calendar and what we're going to do with our time and our activities, we have to know what season that we're in. We have to know what season that we're in. What is important to you? What what is important to you? Is family important to you? Okay. We are living in a time where we have multiple hats. We've actually always had multiple hats. Okay. You can be entrepreneur, you can be mommy, you can be daddy, you can be care provider, you can be entrepreneur, you can be career professional. You can have all these different hats. But there are some seasons that you are actually going to be called to that you have to recognize. You just gonna have to recognize that. Sometimes you might be in a season where the business is going to be the main thing. But then there also may be a season where, you know what, I gotta have more time for myself. And maybe it's more of a resting season. Maybe you're not doing as much, right? So the question is, are we clear on what we do? Are you clear on what it is that you do? I want you to put that in the chat for you guys. I want you guys to put that in the chat. Let me sip this little tea. Is it ready? Because it's a little hot. All right. That was good. Still a bit hot though. Are we clear on what we do? Are we clear? Sometimes we're not clear, folks. Sometimes you got to take some time. Sometimes you just really got to take some time. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean about that? Sometimes you got to take some time. Okay. Defining our goals. I think that, and let's just get straight into this definition because I think this is important. Goal setting is the process of deciding what you want to accomplish and devising a plan to achieve those desired results. Goal setting is the process of deciding what you want to accomplish and devising a plan to achieve those results. So, goal setting is highly personal. You can do objective key results. You can do SMART goal method. You can do eat the frog. You can do, I think I read today the ABCDE method. I don't know what that is, but that sounded fascinating. Atomic habits. There's ways that you can get your productivity goal setting system together. There's a way. Goal setting is the process of deciding what you want to accomplish and devising a plan to achieve those results. Do you have a plan for what it is that you want to accomplish? This is good, y'all. This is good. We're gonna get to the crux of the aligning the projects and the goals in a few minutes. But we gotta make sure that we get an understanding of, do you have a process? Do you have a roadmap to actually creating a plan to achieve those desired results? I'm looking to drop 30 pounds. I'm looking to make $50,000 in revenue. I'm looking to have 100 subscribers for my email. I'm looking for 100. I'm looking for 100 YouTube subscribers. I think I got 25 left. I feel like we can make that happen by the end of the summer. Come on, summertime subscriptions. Whoop whoop. I feel it in my bones. Okay. But you have to have a process. What's the process of you getting to that? What's the plan? So there's the SMART goal method, right? We know that: specific, measurable, attainable, or / achievable. I think it's attainable, realistic, and timely. Okay, there's different types of goals: financial, marketing, fitness, sales, family, podcasting, YouTube. Okay. What type of goals do you all have? You should put that in the chat. What type of goals do you all have? What are you looking to attain? Okay. What are you looking to attain? What are you looking to attain? I do want to talk a bit about objective key results because I found that to be super, super fascinating. John Doerr, American venture capitalist, worked at IBM and Google. He came up with this idea: objective and key results. Let me slide on over. I believe, it's my belief, that OKRs challenge us to think, are we really setting the right goals? This means that you are connecting them to what? Your values and your why, a direct reflection of your motherboard. That's the conclusion that I've come to, is that your goals are a very much a direct reflection of your values and where you are in your life. That CPU, it's what's driving you. I believe so. I think it makes perfect sense, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. Hello, somebody. I believe that was Dr. Eric Thomas. I want to be out here on record. I believe that is. But I think we can be in agreement on that. Can we agree on that? Yes. Can we agree on that? That goal setting is that direct reflection of what you are honoring and valuing in the season that you're in. Okay. So I know somebody out there saying, Ashley, I thought we were going to get into an app. I know somebody's like looking just like this. I thought we were getting into an app. You got an app for me? We getting there, folks. We're gonna get there, folks, on Wednesday. We're gonna get there soon. But I think it's important, because you cannot properly goal set without understanding who you are and understanding the season that you're in what you value. Okay. There's a lot of folks that are taking these sabbaticals, these breaks, what have you, and coming back refreshed. I'm telling you, refreshed. Okay. Man, coming back really refreshed. I love it, because also people are making, the necessary business pivots and whatnot. It's good stuff, man. It is really good stuff. And I think it's really good. I think it's really good. One thing I'll give a cool shout out to Coach Ari Hale. She's doing some really cool stuff in her business, and she's had a shift. I'm not talking about her like she don't know, that she hasn't shared with, her email community or on social media, but she's had priority changes, and I think we gotta, we gotta honor that. Hand clap it up for her for honoring the season that she's in, honoring which means that she's been going through her own set of what is it that she wants to do next, or what is it she wants to accomplish in her life and in her business. And so she's doing some cool things on mindset. She's doing some cool things with some different types of webinars and whatnot, some different trainings. I think I just got an email from her, and then you can listen to the podcast that she has on Hello Audio. So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really cool. So she's doing some really great things, and so I believe that, again, it goes back to honoring the season that you're in, knowing who you are, knowing your values, and then making those decisions on, all right, what is it that I want to do? What type of goals do I want to accomplish? All right, cool. What are objective and key results? OKRs are a collaborative goal setting tool used by teams and individuals to set challenging, ambitious goals with measurable results. For me, when I looked at OKRs, I said, you know what? This feels good, just in terms of how you do it. Objective, what you're looking to accomplish. The key result, your metric. Get it? OKR. Objective. What are you looking to accomplish? Name it, make it plain, make it simple. Your metric. Okay? I'm gonna slide on over here so y'all can understand that. So I got this from the website. which says right here, defining your OKRs. Objective is the what. This is your big goal, the main thing you want to accomplish. You will use your objective to inform your actions. Key result, the how. These are the benchmarks you'll track on the path to hit your main objectives. These act as goalposts to help you assess your progress. Typically, there are 3 to 5 per objective. Who's tracking with me? Y'all tracking? This is some good stuff, y'all. So write down on a piece of paper. Come on, pen and paper squad. Come on, because I know you're out there. I know you're out there. That big goal. What's that big goal that you want to accomplish? What's that thing that's tugging at you? What's that thing where you said, you know what? It's that prompting. Okay. One might say it's the Holy Spirit. Hello, somebody. Some might say it's that thing in the gut that's saying, you know what? That's the big thing. That's the objective. The key result. These are the benchmarks you'll track on the path to hit your main objective. I'm gonna show you some examples because we gotta get with it. We gotta get with it, folks. Some examples of OKRs. Personal OKRs. People are doing it, y'all. These personal OKRs. Look at this. Have more quality time is the OKR. That's the objective. Get home for dinner by 6 p.m. 20 nights a month. Key result 2, being present by turning off the internet router to eliminate distractions. Wow, turning off the internet sounds kind of intense, but I'm with it. Sounds a little intense, but I'm here for it. But look at this personal OKR. Who has a personal OKR? Would be maybe to decrease body fat by 15%. Okay. How is that going to be measured by? Key result. I'm going to work out 5 times a day. Yeah, I'm going to work out 5 times a day. No, not 5 times a day. 5 days a month. 5 days a week. 5 days a week, which would be 20 nights a month. That's like right here. And then another key result could be I'm going to eat salad 4 times a week. 4 times a week, that's 16 salads. All you need now is a tracking mechanism for that, just to track your progress. All right. Look at this. Here's another one. Become the #1 free mobile banking app for developing countries. The key result, improve weekly signups by 15% by July. Launch a marketing campaign in every language by August. Establish at least 1 ATM access point all across countries by September. Woo! This seems exciting. But let's keep it real though. Okay? These OKRs are meant to be challenging, as most goals are, but specifically the OKR system is meant to be challenging. So the question is really, because we saw the definition of goal setting. You know, this is an individualized, it's a process. It maps out how you're going to get to where you need to be. How do you become the #1 free mobile banking app for developing countries? How? You're going to measure that by, that's the how, the goalpost, improve weekly signups by 15%. But even with that, there's still a hidden question of how you're going to do that. I'm gonna connect the dots with you in a minute. Launch a marketing campaign in every language by August. Establish at least 1 ATM access point across countries by September. Super ambitious, but exciting at the same time. I want to go for another one right here. Create weekly newsletters for marketing leads. Key result, 40% click-through rate on the average of every newsletter. 20% of newsletter readers convert into demo requests. And 10% of customer conversion rates for newsletters refer demo requests. Okay. So what's different about the SMART goal method is that you got to be like super, super precise with your numbers. Okay. And with OKRs, what's different about this is that you can actually just be a little bit more looser. I still would recommend that you would still make your numbers as tight as possible, right? As tight as possible. So you want marketing leads. I would even say create weekly newsletters for 10 new marketing leads. I would put that in there. But there's still this question of how we're going to do and how we're going to accomplish these key results. There's still that. So let's go on and let's look at this. Woo! Executing our goals. This is big, y'all. This is big. Okay, this is big. I want y'all to let's just look at this for a minute. I told y'all I read some Atomic Habits by James Clear. Shout out to James Clear. Let me take a sip of this before we get into this last leg. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Oftentimes, we are not executing on what we need to is because we don't have the what in place. Come on, somebody fill in the blank for me. Because we don't have the right systems, we don't have the right processes, we don't have the steps, we don't have the plans, we don't have the roadmap that's going to get us to our goals. Come on, somebody. This is good, y'all. Not just the tea. But this is the stuff that we got to get into. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. It's not that you it's not that you can't manage your schedule or that you can't manage your time. It's the fact that you don't have the right system in place to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But that's a direct reflection of the season that you're in and then also what you hold to be true. There's a one-for-one connection. If health is very important to you and you're not making the particular numeric weight goals, and again, this is not something that I subscribe to, that you have to meet a particular weight goal and that equals to you to be healthy. That's not what we've been taught in the SAS program. Shout out to Rochelle T. Parks. But we're just saying this for an example. The reason why I was not successful in releasing weight is because A, I didn't have a system in place, but B, also because if we go back to what I said about honoring the season that you're in and knowing who you are, is that there is the value. I was not placing a value on myself to want to release the weight needed. It was only until I had to get a download from the Lord that said, there's something for you on the other side of releasing this weight. And I said to myself, what is on the other side of that? I wonder. If I repeatedly am not able to get this project done, and it's start and stop, there's something going on with the system. And inside that is the process. We getting heavy tonight. Okay. We're talking the process. We're talking about the steps. We're talking about the workflow. Okay. The system is the big thing. Okay. Right. Something's going on with the process if we can't seem to make that progress. So we got to look at it. We got to look at it from that perspective. There's something going on. We got to figure that out. Simply put, a system is an organized collection of parts or subsystems that are highly integrated to accomplish an overall goal. The system has various inputs which go through certain processes to produce certain outputs, which together accomplish the overall desired goal for the system. Okay, it's a collection of parts. Okay, those parts are those processes. Let's break this down even more, folks. So here we are, knowing ourselves, right? Here we are, knowing who we are, helping us to define our goals and objectives, understanding the measurement, our key KPIs, okay? Projects, my. Let's rewind it. Let's rewind so that we're making sure that we really got this. Boom. We talked about the motherboard. We're talking about our mission, our vision, our values, what we're honoring in that season, what we need to focus on. That's helping to develop our goals and objectives. We know that once we know who we are, we know the season that we're in, we know what we want to focus on, that helps to inform us of what we need to be working on, those goals and those objectives. That also helps us with how we need to schedule our time, different type of live. Okay. We know how we're going to measure these things with these KPIs. Okay, but the projects, these are the things that are going to carry out the work. The projects are the things that are going to help us get to our goals and achieve them. This is the organized way that we are literally creating a framework to carry out the work, to carry out the objective. That's how we get that alignment of our projects and our goals. Oftentimes we could be working on projects that are not in alignment with our goals. And then we get mixed up with priorities because then we don't know what we should be working on. But we had to do the work first of understanding who we are, honoring the season that we're in so that we can understand the goals that we're working on, the priorities that we're working on. Your projects is your work. That's that roadmap that's going to carry it through. So I have this right here. I have this graphic that I had created a while back, but here it is. Mission and vision. That's in direct alignment of your OKR/your goals. And then what supports that and carries that out are your projects. And that, my friends, is what helps me to stay on track. Once I know mission and vision, and again, you want to make sure that you're revisiting that. Maybe it's quarterly, maybe at least twice a year, so that you can get an understanding of what you know to be true in the season that you're in. You set these goals and those objectives, and then you have your projects that are going to help carry out that work. So when we say that we're going to create a newsletter that is going to generate 10 marketing leads, that falls right under that sales piece. So what is that project that's going to carry that out? That project is going to be, that initiative is going to be being able to plan, organize, and create and launch the newsletter. Boom. Another initiative within that is coming up with that strategy that's going to maintain at a minimum, X amount of signups per week or per month. mission and vision, OKRs and goals, and your projects. Okay? Comments and questions before we get to my favorite part, one of my favorite parts, which will be the challenge of the week. Make sure to text live to 626-722-54444. That's where you can text me any comments that you have about the lives, any suggestions that you may have, responding to any of the challenges of the week, in which I would love for you to text me. What type of season are you in? And what is your mission? What is your mission? And tell me about the season that you're in. That's where we start. That's where we start, folks. I love it. I love it. I love it. For those of you that, y'all just want to show some love, for sure, if you want to be part of the Systems Lab crew, definitely go to buy me a tea. Well, it's buy me a coffee, really, but in this cup is tea. And if you want to support the content, you can. You don't have to. Some people just like to show some love. Also, I just want to quickly be able to let you know that ClickUp VIP days are open. ClickUp VIP days are open. Text VIP to 626-722-5444. It's hashtag VIP. You see the number below. That's where we get yourself organized. So if you want to put your goals inside of ClickUp, start matching them and making sure that you're in alignment with your projects and things, let's talk. Let's talk for sure. I also have my calendar open for an Organize Me VIP day. And those are for folks that are really like, you know what? I don't know if I got everything straight with managing my time and tasks, because I haven't been able to really dig into like what should I actually be working on? Like, how do I really get into managing my time and my tasks and understanding what my focus is? You can for sure go to my website, ashleyschuler.com, and you'll be able to see under services the Organize Me VIP day. Definitely message me if you want to take a look into that as well. But I thank you guys for your time and attention today. I always enjoy talking about this, and I go over this actually in my VIP day more in depth. But this, my friends, is something that is really, really important. I really, really believe in this format. This is what has helped me just to stay on track, and it's helped others as well. And so thank you guys for your time and attention today. And be sure to tune in on Wednesday, where we are going to look at setting up more goals. We did some last time, but now we get to really get an understanding of what are these projects, align them with our goals, and then see how we can set them up in ClickUp. And also to have this one-on-one conversation too with individual team members and their goals. And that's going to be a really great way for you to set yourself up for success in talking to team members with their individualized goals and how you can help them to get to where they need to be. So we thank you so much. Share this out with a couple of friends. But thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday. Peace out, Cub Scouts. And we out.